going on, everybody? Welcome back. Tonight we're going to talk about the holdup and what's going on with the extradition and the suspects in the Shanquella Robinson case. Now, we've heard from the Mexican government. They said that they're actually complete with their part. They already issued the warrant for, of course, the suspect hasn't been named, but we assume it is Dejanay Jackson. Now the ball is in the U.S. court. But it seems like it's not easier said than done. And we're going to figure out what's really going on. So let's take a look at this first video clip.
Sent a letter to the White House about this case. This young woman was killed in Mexico in October of last year. The suspect is in this country, along with those back here, along with those who were present during the deadly beating, okay? He sent a letter asking for extradition of the suspect to Mexico for the Mexican authorities to deal with, or if not, take jurisdiction of it here and deal with it. What's next? What's the White House willing to do?
So let me just first say our hearts go out to Ms. Robinson's family and friends. It is devastating what occurred, and certainly the tragedy is just devastating. And we've been following the news here, but because there's an FBI investigation underway, there's very little that we can say. We got to, as you know, we are very careful about criminal investigations or any investigations that are currently happening through DOJ, in this particular case, FBI. But our hearts go out again, to the families, and I would have to refer you to the DOJ and the State Department.
Now, it didn't matter how the reporter asked her the question. That was the same response she gave her every time. It was like it was rehearsed. They weren't breaking on any information, nothing. Makes you wonder. But we're going to watch this next video, and we're going to start building what is really going on. Take a look at this.
Shanquella Robinson's case is at a standstill. Her family pushing for the FBI and State Department to make an arrest or hand things over to Mexico.
Mexican authorities have already concluded the investigation. They've said that it was homicide.
The work is done.
The work is done.
Family attorney Ben Crump argues the fastest way to justice may be extraditing the suspects. Attorney Chris Swecker, former head of the FBI Criminal Investigative Division, says it's extremely rare for the U.S. to give a citizen to another country, especially if there are concerns of a corrupted government.
These people are innocent until proven guilty, and we're not. I don't think that we are convinced that they would get the type of due process that they're entitled to, as they would be entitled to in this country.
For suspects to be extradited, Swecker says Mexican investigators would need to come to the U.S. to share their evidence. Then U.S. officials would find the suspects and take them to Mexico. But he doesn't think that'll happen.
I would be very surprised if our Justice Department would be willing to extradite to Mexico. I think they'd much rather try these killers up here.
It's unclear if Mexican and U.S. authorities are working together. Swecker predicts the U.S. will likely take jurisdiction of the case, just not as fast as Shanquella's family would like. The family says they've gotten little to no response from the federal government. Swecker thinks they deserve an update.
Have they asked for the evidence? Have they asked for the investigators in Mexico to come to the U.S.? Are they willing to indict these people in the United States?
Questions Crump hopes to get answered when he expects to meet with the Foreign Relations Committee and White House officials sometime after April 1st.
So if you heard like I heard, it seems like if anything's going to happen, the U.S. is going to take jurisdiction, and they're going to be tried here in the U.S. So for those who want them to be tried in Mexico, it's less than likely that's going to happen. The important part is that she gets justice. So we got to be happy with that. Also, time. They say it's not going to happen in the time that we're looking for. Of course, they're not going to even speak with them until April 1st. The most important thing I took out of that clip was the U.S. is not going to turn over any of their citizens to a government that they feel are corrupted, which we know Mexico has a corrupt government. We've been seeing it through the news, right? We want Shanquella to get justice. But the U.S. is responsible for its citizens and their well-being, even though in this case, we should just let them go. I feel you 100%. I feel they will be brought to justice. At least Dejanay will. But we have to be patient because we can't allow any slip-ups and let her walk off of any small technicality. You feel what I'm saying? Because you got to understand these lawyers know the system. That's what they get paid to do. So right now it is a waiting game. Got one more clip that I want you to see to make sure you understand what actually has to happen for us to get justice for Shanquella. Take a look at this.
National Civil Rights Attorney Benjamin Crump says Mexican authorities have concluded their homicide investigation and have a warrant, so the only thing left to do is extradite the suspect.
If America isn't going to prosecute, let's let the Mexican government prosecute. Let's don't stand in the way, not one day longer.
To be extradited, a suspect must first be found and arrested. Then, according to the Department of Justice, approval is needed from federal courts and the U.S. Secretary of State. The Department of Justice says extradition requests can take months and even years to be heard in court. Thursday night, Crump told me he vows to keep the pressure on those in power until justice is served.
Shame on us going to bed another night without the killers of Shanquella Robinson being extradited to Mexico to face accountability.
What kind of system is this?
Right, my Lord.
I just don't understand it.